everyone, and welcome to Return to Rugby Care for Your Club webinar. We are being joined today by Graham Finney from Sport Scotland and Kenny Scott, who is Facilities Manager at VT Murrayfield. My name is Jen Griffin and I am the Regional Director for Glasgow South, and we're going to just take you through some pre-care and maintenance for your club facilities before we move to open the facilities towards the end of the month and then into May. So firstly, why are we doing this? As you'll know, club facilities have been out of commission since December 2020, since the initial lockdown kicked off. So they have been closed and out of commission, and therefore there needs to be a process to reopen and restart, especially through some of the safety measures that we have within the club. As we move towards a return to rugby, which, as you'll see from the guidance we released last week and more coming up, the safe opening of facilities is paramount. We don't want anything non-COVID related to happen due to the non-safe opening of clubs. And we want to support the safe and planned reopening of facilities as much as possible. We want to remain COVID-19 compliant and reduce any additional risks with regards to COVID transmission or to any other medical injuries or ailments. So our current timelines that we have just now, and please note these absolutely are subject to change, as we know and we learned from the previous time, Scottish Government can move forward or push back these dates, so these are indicative just now. As we stand, all indoor facilities should remain closed, and we're using the pitches for training as of the 12th of March, which is fine. As we move towards the 5th of April, we still have all indoor facilities closed until we move towards the end of April, so the 26th. We have gyms that can open for individual exercise only. Indoor group activities still not permitted, but we do have indoor hospitality and outdoor hospitality which can resume with restrictions. As we move into May, group exercise and activities can be allowed within gyms. Indoor group exercise can resume. Again, there'll be restrictions there, and we'll get more detail on that while we have it. And within hospitality, again, we still have indoor and outdoor hospitality that can resume, and restrictions will still apply, but they will hopefully have eased at that point. And as we move on to June, we have the least amount of information for this, but indicative figures show that group exercise and activities, again, will be allowed. Indoor non-contact sport will be allowed to resume, and there'll be lesser restrictions again on indoor and outdoor hospitality. So that's just a quick overview. And like I said, these are subject to change, so please just keep your eye on any updates and return to rugby from Scottish Rugby. So now, just as we look towards some things to consider, Kenny is going to take us through some of the stuff, and Kenny and Graham are going to walk us through some of this information for you to consider before that 26th of April date, or if it's later, that's absolutely fine, but this is before you open any of your facilities. Kenny?
Hi, hello everybody. So we're going to start talking about the water system. So we've had 12 months now of inactivity in your facilities. So the advice we spoke about last year was flushing your water outlets for at least a minimum of 10 minutes each week to remove any stagnant water. So that remains consistent. We should still continue to do that. But before you open up, if you have any concerns over water provision before you open up to public, consider having the water tested. But just be aware it can take 10 days for the results to come through from that water test.
Yeah, hi everybody. Just thinking about some other services, gas and boiler appliances and other water systems. It's worth checking, whereas last time we came out of lockdown and we asked you to check all these things. This time we're coming out of a winter. So in certain areas has been slightly colder than others. So you might find there's burst pipes. And we talked about dampness being in the building. It could be from heating systems being off, so there's been more condensation. So you just need to check all of these things. And that goes for your gas appliances and boilers as well. They need to be checked by professionals, qualified professionals before recommissioning, just to make things safe and secure for the buildings that you're about to enter.
So drainage, just about all facilities obviously have drainage, we have roof gutters, and we have the downpipes from the roof. So it's a good time now to go and check all them. Obviously we've come through winter with, after autumn with the leaves flying about, no doubt some of the gutters are blocked. Obviously do it as safely as you can. If you're going up on ladders, please conduct risk assessments and only qualified people to go up to check your gutters. And then routinely check your drains to make sure the water's flowing throughout your facility. Fire safety, so one that's close to all our hearts. Fire alarm checks should have been continued to be conducted, along with conducting fire extinguisher checks and emergency lighting checks. Just keep going with them until the day when we open up. Again, if you've got any concerns over anything to do with fire safety, then seek advice from a qualified source.
In terms of hospitality, it's really simple. It's just when we're allowed under Scottish Government guidance for working environments, you can get in and check on the serviceability of your kitchens and other hospitality areas. And it's worth just making sure that they have been cleaned. Again, having gone through winter, and we did talk about this last time, was, you know, there's a risk of vermin having entered the building at some point, and they can play havoc with services, but also get in and cause havoc within kitchen areas and hospitality areas. So just check for those, and if you need to get a registered qualified exterminator in, and again, get a qualified gas engineer while they're checking your boilers. Bar services, this was something we talked about last time as well. If your bar's in full operation, you'll be cleaning pipes and checking gas and all the rest of it while you're working. Because there's been such a layoff, you will need to check that the pipes are cleaned or have been cleaned regularly. You'll need to check that the gas services are all serviceable for the bar, and you need to check that they've been shut down as per your supplier's recommendations or the BBPA dispensing system shutdown procedures. And that goes for starting up again as well. If you haven't had things checked and you haven't been able to flush your pipes, you need to get them checked. Start to think about booking in an engineer to have a look at the system, because everybody's going to be needing that if, once we're allowed to start opening up hospitality. And you could very well be at the back of the queue. So start thinking a wee bit ahead about when bar services might be needed and what you need to do to get them open and up and running quickly, because that could be the first source of income you have had for a whole year in some cases.
Okay, pitches. So I'm not the expert on pitches, but there's a good basic instruction here that's been provided. So just keep going with your pitch renovations or pitch maintenance. Sorry, keep going with that. Look out for things in particular as animal waste, dog waste on your pitches. Keep that clear if you can. So it's just basic maintenance. Synthetic surfaces, very similar in terms of animal waste, but then of course if you need to disinfect your pitch, for example, there's a product, for example, called Endosan 50, which we use here at BT Fairfield, which has proved popular by our ground staff. Lots of things, and also try if you can now and plan for any additional seed or fertilizer that you're going to use in preparation for getting your pitches back to the standard which you all strive to achieve.
Thanks for that, Kenny. So we do have a resource that we put out in May 2020, would you believe it, that we have updated and revamped to be fit for purpose for coming out of what is lockdown number 2, 3 for some areas. So we do have that checklist available on the website for you to use and go through. It includes a lot of the information that we've chatted about on this webinar and a wee bit more, and it just gives you that kind of peace of mind that you've gone through the process. So in summary, have a planned approach to reopening your facility so that you're ready for when the time comes. So don't just wait until the 26th of April or the 17th of May. Have a think about what's going to happen and then work back from that. As the guys have both intimated, some things can take 5-10 days. And if we're booking engineers or any specialist services, that can take even longer. Risk assessments should be undertaken or reviewed. So if your club didn't reopen after the first lockdown, then you'll need to undertake your risk assessments from scratch. If you did open previously, then you need to review those risk assessments in accordance with the government guidelines. Don't attempt to open as quickly as possible, and there is absolutely no pressure from ourselves or anyone else to open every single aspect of your facility. If you want to focus and concentrate on one aspect of it, whether that's hospitality or indoor areas, that's absolutely fine. You choose what is right for your club. There's absolutely no pressure to do everything at the one time. It's better to get it right and test it than do everything and put yourselves and any volunteers and staff under pressure. Seek professional services where required, and as both Graham and Kenny have outlined, there are opportunities to do that. If in doubt, please go to a qualified and reputable professional to do so. All maintenance should be documented. Hopefully that checklist will help you, but you may have your own checklist or paperwork that will help you do that. So that's absolutely fine, but just make sure that it is documented. Anything that you do within club maintenance between now and into June should be done in keeping with the government guidelines, and that does include travel. So please keep your eyes peeled on the guidelines and make sure you're adhering to them at all times. And keep up to date with the Scottish Rugby guidance on return to facilities and the Sport Scotland guidance on getting your facilities fit for sport. Key part of what we're looking to do here. We will continue to update and produce guidance for this, so please keep your eyes peeled for it. Before we finish up, it was just one note to say, can you please check before you do anything your club insurance documents for your facility. Things may have changed, your provider may have had additional COVID clauses put into the policy. They may have changed some of the T's and C's. So to make sure that you are compliant and covered at all times, please double check what your policy currently says. It may even have changed since December, so just double check that to keep yourselves right. If you do have any questions in relation to any of the content in this webinar or the checklist, please just email the Rugby Development admin address and someone will get back to you as quickly as possible. And really that's all from us just now. Thanks very much for your time, and if you do have any questions, please just let us know. Thank you.